Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sid's Reviews. My name is Dale. This is a very special speaker here that I'm about to review. It's from a French company called Elipson, and this is the Elipson Prestige Facet 8B 80th Anniversary Edition. Let's get into it. Okay, so Elipson is a French manufacturer that not only make a full line of speakers that they've been doing since about the early 50s, 1953, but they also make amps and turntables as well, and I believe streamers and some accessories. So I'll do a link down below of the Elipson company, and you can see on it that they have a full line of speakers ranging from like entry level to quite high end. And the Elipson line falls more to the entry level line. So as you can see, they have a full line of speakers there. They have a couple of different towers. They have bookshelves, center speaker, and surround speakers as well. So I'll link to all that below so you guys can check it out. These speakers here are the 80th edition, limited edition speakers. And as you can see, it's very nice construction here. So it's a nice gloss finish. It has a nice gold trim to it around, and this is specially made for the 80th anniversary edition. And also compared to their regular Elipson Prestige line, this one here has better components on the inside, so better capacitors, resistors, and internal bracing as well. And that's all special for the 80th anniversary speaker here. The sensitivity on these speakers is 91 dB, so it can be driven by most amps. And it's a 6-ohm speaker, and the frequency range on it is 47 hertz to 2500 kilohertz to it. The woofer here is a 6.5-inch woofer, and as you can see, there's like kind of a nice rubberish waveguide around both this and the tweeter as well, and that's going to improve the sound quality of the speaker. And the tweeter is a 1-inch soft dome tweeter. It does come with some nice magnetic grills that you can put on to hide it, but to me, I think they look very good just like that without the grills on them. And I've had these speakers now for a couple of months, and I use it almost every day, testing them out, and I use it with a bunch of different amplifiers ranging from entry level to like my NAD amplifier that I have, the 315B amplifier. I also use it with the Elipson Music Center Connect amplifier, which I'll show you. The Audio Control Rialto 600. I use my reference amplifier that I have every day, my Unico Primo amplifier. I use a bunch of different combinations with these speakers, and they all, everyone drove the speakers very well, but some were a little different flavor to it, which I'll explain about. All right, now I'll just quickly show you the back of the speaker. As you can see, there's a fairly large porthole. I believe that's like 3 inches. So, and when it does play with a lot of bass, these things really puff out the air behind it. So you want to give it a little bit of room to breathe here when you're playing them. I'd say at least 2 feet, 2.5 feet from the wall, that you want to give them some, good distance there to make these things sound the best. Very nice set of binding posts that are biampable, and they come with these kind of cheapish looking connectors to it. I did borrow some Nordos ones from the good people at Altitudo Audio, who borrowed me these speakers for the review, and I used that, and it sounded quite a bit better with those connectors put onto it. Okay, so now let's start with the sound of these speakers, beginning with the bass. So the bass to me was very pronounced. It was fairly deep. I didn't feel the need to use a subwoofer with these. I wouldn't say the bass is the quickest bass or the most refined, but it's very satisfying for what you need, especially like with dance music or anything that has a little bit of bass to it. You could really hear the bass really thumping with these speakers. I didn't need to use a subwoofer with it. Now, was it the quickest bass I ever seen? No, it wasn't. It was a little bit quicker on some other speakers that I've tested out before, which I'll mention in the comparison. But overall, I think the bass of these was very satisfactory, especially with some dance music, with some rock music. You'll be very pleasantly surprised with these speakers. It does deliver a lot of thump and wallop where you need it, and overall is a very good speaker for bass, I'd say. Okay, to me, the star of the show with these speakers is the mid-range for sure. The mids to me sounded very good, very natural sound. It was pretty close to exceptional, I'd say. Like the male and female vocals sounded very natural and clear. Very precise pianos and percussion sounded very good as well. I really enjoyed the mids out of these. I remember listening to song Color to the Moon, and it was just so great. Like his voice just came right out. It was like coming out into the room. It almost sounded like he was there in the room. I know a lot of reviewers say that, but it really did sound very good with that song especially. So a lot of the songs sounded great with the mid-range. So I'd say that these speakers for sure, they shine with the mid-range. So I'd say overall, if you're like into any kind of like a lot of acoustic music, like any kind of jazz music, strings, stuff like that, I think these speakers are definitely ideal for that because the mid-range is so good with it. Okay, and last I'd like to talk about the treble of these speakers. Now, this is a speaker I think that if you're not into something very analytical or overly detailed, these are the speakers for you. If you're looking for that, you probably need to look elsewhere because these speakers just aren't that kind of tone. This is more of a warmer type speaker that delivers some treble, and you can hear some detail of it, but nothing like some other speakers, especially like, let's say, Klipsch R3 or even the Triangle 40th Anniversary Edition. The treble's not quite as crisp and analytical as that. It presents it very, very nice, but definitely it's not the star of the show. It won't just come out to you with a bunch of information. But what treble it does have is very good. I kind of like it that way because then you could have a longer listening session when you're listening to a bunch of music. It's not a speaker that screams and says, let's hear this detail and that detail. It won't do that. But the treble that it does have is very good. Okay, when it comes to soundstage and imaging, I'd say it's just okay on all of it. There's nothing really that stood out. There wasn't much of, like the music's like, the speakers disappeared or something like that, or music's coming from all different directions. No, most of the soundstage will be presented in between these speakers. At the higher up you go, though, with the amplifiers, the little bit better, like the soundstage kind of goes to the 3D effect. So if you have like, a tube amp, or if you have like the Unico Primo that's has a tube on the preamp section of it, that definitely, I noticed that the soundstage got a little bit better. Imaging to me was spot on. All the vocals, were right in the middle, is locked in the middle. So that part was very good. Just don't expect that these speakers kind of disappear and give you that holographic image of, music kind of everywhere. That's not what these do. They kind of present the music as it is. It's just, one of those speakers that you can listen to for hours. Okay, I'll do a couple or a few, I guess, speaker comparisons. So let's start off first with the KEF R3s. Now, keep in mind that this is a $1,200 speaker Canadian, so you could probably get it for about $1,000 US. And the KEF Model 3s retail for $2,200 in the US and about $3,000 Canadian. So, we're looking at almost 3 times the price. And pretty much in every way, the KEF R3s are going to beat these. The build quality is a little bit better. The soundstage imaging's a lot better. Treble to me presented, lots of treble, but never bright on the KEF R3s. The only thing that these would probably beat it is bass output, but that's about it. I'd say the bass is actually a little bit tighter and more detailed on the R3s, where these ones just dig down a little deeper. But besides that, for 3 times the price, you're expecting that the KEF R3s to be better, and they are, but these are still very good for the price. Okay, and the next comparison I want to do is to the Triangle Comet 40th Anniversaries. Again, retail price on that one's about $2,500 Canadian, or about $2,000 US. These are about half the price of that, so let's keep that in mind. The Triangles, the fit and finish to me, that's just a beautiful speaker. You can't really compare it to these. These are very well made, and I think they look nice, but the Comets are just a level up. There's no doubt about it. Sound-wise, Comet 40th anniversaries, more analytical. The treble will really, that tweeter will definitely give you more information, more detail into the music, something like that. Imaging, soundstage a lot better on the triangles. Mid-range, though, I think that these would definitely compare and, in fact, might beat it if you like a more warmer, lush mid-range, especially for vocals, for female and male vocals that just sound natural and right. These probably beat it on there. Bass-wise, though, this one digs down deeper. The other one probably a little bit cleaner and faster. Okay, and the last speaker to compare it to is the Audio Physic Classic 3 that I did. Now that one, to me, it's definitely a smaller speaker than this one physically, but I really enjoyed that speaker. I really think that it just presents the music so beautifully. They're very well made. The soundstage is a lot bigger to me on that one. The bass is definitely deep, not quite as deep as this one, but it's definitely deep and faster and more defined on it. I like the treble on that one too, a little bit more detailed, but not fatiguing at all. And then the mid-range on it, probably pretty close. Slight edge probably to the Classic 3. I think that was just a really special speaker, and they're very well made too, and made in Germany. These ones are in France, but I think they're actually made in China, but it doesn't really say that. But anyway, that's kind of the comparison with those. And the Classic 3s are $2,500. These ones are $1,200. So you got to really kind of pick what you're looking for. Okay, so the amplifiers that I use with these, like I said, I use 4 different ones. The NAD, the Ronaldo, I use the Elipson Connect Center, and I also use my Unico Primo integrated amplifier. Now, the Unico Primo is probably, I believe, the most expensive one. Well, that and the Ronaldo are all about $2,500. Anyway, let's get right down to it. The best sounding one to me was the Unico Primo, probably because it does the best in soundstage and imaging, and that speaks to my heart. The Ronaldo probably came in second. I really like the dynamics of that amp. I like the footprint of it. I'll be doing a full review on that one as well, so stay tuned for that. Elipson Music Connect, that amplifier sounded very good with it, but you really needed to turn up the volume to really bring out the life in these speakers in that. So you had to turn it up almost at 75 to 80% to really start to hear what these speakers can do. My NAD amp. So my NAD 315B, again, had very good dynamics with it. It's just one of those entry-level amps. I think it retails for about $500. You could pick it up used for probably $250 or less. But that's a very good amp if you're on a budget. It'll definitely play these things loud and deliver quite good performance. Just don't expect any kind of hi-fi-ish type of sound that these speakers can deliver, but you probably won't get that with a $500 NAD amplifier. Okay, so my final thoughts on these Elipson 80th anniversary Prestige Facet speakers. So to me, if you value a warm and lush sound, especially on the mid-range with female and male vocals, and are into like mostly acoustic music, jazz music, rock and roll music, these are very good speakers for that. They're not hard to drive. Like I said, 91 dB. So you could pretty much use any kind of amp, and these would definitely drive the speakers. This is the type of speaker that you could listen to for hours. So, and like hour-long sessions, and just sit down, relax, put on some nice music, and just enjoy it. And these will just kind of set it and forget it. No fatigue on these speakers at all. Just kind of presents a nice, warm, lush mid-range. If that's you, if that's what you're into, definitely check out these speakers to audition. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Definitely thanks to Altitudo Audio for letting me borrow these speakers for the last couple of months. Check out their website. I'll leave their link down below. They have a bunch of new items in stock that they keep rotating in and out, bunch of new lines. Definitely check them out. Give them a call. Very good to deal with, and they have tons of good items and definitely great service, so definitely check them out. And until next time, guys, thanks for joining me again. Like and subscribe below, leave lots of comments. I answer most of my comments and love interacting with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining me.